So this is what we're going to be doing today, but I've got some different sizes of it as well, and I've also got a double display version. As you can probably see, I'm using more Antonio makes today for my papers. So this is my box, and I quite like the rounded edges. However, I did forget to round the edges of my pattern paper. I'd already stuck my pattern onto my mats, and then I was like, oh no, I was supposed to be rounding the edges. So I just thought, let me just round the edges anyway, and then yeah. So I've just rounded the edges of the whole thing. So this was a card that I saw Flutter by Heidi do, and she'd seen somebody else do it, and I can't remember where it originated from. I don't know where it originated from, but I quite liked it, and I thought, right, we're gonna have a go with that. So yeah, so this is actually turned out to be 5 inches by 6 inches, but as I said, it will fit into a 6x6 card blank, so that's fine by me. On the back, I have added pattern papers on these 2 panels. The card we're doing today, well, the bits that I've cut out for today for a 5x7, I haven't cut out pattern paper for the back, but I prefer it with pattern paper cut out for the back, so I think I will add that on later. So we're going to do a 5x7 version now. So these are the bits you are going to need. Now I'm using Antonio Makes' papers again, and the ones I'm using today are not available to the general public. These ones are only available to his VIPs. So this was the June kit. He does like a VIP package. I'm going to do a video actually based, it's like explicitly just on his VIP package and his, all the rest of it. So his VIP package, he does a VIP package that costs £45 for the year. But what you get is an exclusive kit every month, and that kit is not available on his website, and so it's only available to the VIPs, and he designs it especially for the VIPs. So this was the kit. This is the Flirty Flowers. This was June, so this is only VIP people will have got this kit, and oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous. And so not only do you get the exclusive kit for that month, you also get a 20% off code that you can use on all kits throughout the year, basically. And so you also get a nominated special promotion every month as well. And if you use my code Louise10, you get 10% off that as well. So you get, so instead of paying £45 for the year, you pay £40 and 50 pence because you get 10% off. So this is the June kit, and then the July kit is Monochrome Madness. So lots of nice monochrome prints, lots of nice monochrome bits and bobs. This is all the monochrome madness, and I thought these would be quite nice if you just added maybe a bit of distress inking on them. So that's that. And as I say, I'm going to do a video straight up, based on it. But because I'm using the papers today from it, I thought I'd better just tell you in case people are like, oh, where'd you get those papers from? They're not on this website. No, they're not, because they're just, and actually now you can't get these papers now. So I'm being a bit mean because I'm using papers you can't actually get anymore. Right, what have we got here? Base card wise, we have 3 pieces that are 5 inches by 8 1/4. And so this is for the 5x7 version of the card you just saw. So along the long inch, you're going to score at 1 inch, 4 inches, 5 inches, and 8 inches. And you can do that on all 3 pieces. I'm going to mount and fold all of these pieces. Right, so then what we want to do is take some red tape, and I'm going to use my skinny red tape because obviously I've only got a little tab, and I'm going to put red tape on the tab of right, so we stick our 3 little boxes together, so you end up with a little matchstick like matchstick boxes kind of thing, kind of that kind of idea. And then what I would do is I would probably stick it together first and then add your layers, just because then it's a little bit easier. I think it's a little bit easier to then put it together. I think Fluttered by Heidi, I think she added her things on first, and that's the layers on first, and then she decorated. I think that's how she did it. Not decorated, then she stuck it together. But yeah. Right, so I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to make sure my tab's at the back. And then on this front here, on this front section, I'm going to measure in 1/2 inch in from that line. And I'm just going to make a tiny little mark there. And I'm going to do the same on this one as well. So only on 2 of them. Just making a mark in from that edge, 2 inches. And then I need to get my other red tape, which is over here. And what I'm going to do is add a layer of red tape on here like this. Now you can cover the whole section if you want, and obviously I'm doing it within that bit where my dot is there. So I'm just making sure that it's kind of nearer to the mark than it is the score line, but it's pretty much, you know, pretty much in the middle, sort of. Right, okay, so we've got our 3 pieces there. And so now I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in, but only so I can line things up. So we're going to take, so you want your 2 boxes that have got the red tape on the right hand side, and then your other piece that hasn't got tape on the left. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take off all of that backing, and I'm going to make sure it's squished over to the left, so you've got your side panel and then your front panel. Butt that up to the top there, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to make sure that's also squished to the left. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this edge here lines up with that mark. So you're basically overlapping them by 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to butt that up against the top of my scoreboard. When I'm happy it's at the top of the scoreboard and it's in the right place, I'm going to push it down. And so that just means then your 2 boxes are stuck together, but it also then means that, you know, you're level across the top. You haven't got one slightly wonky or whatever, and they're lined up. So then we're going to squish them off to the left again, and we're going to repeat the process with this one. So again, I'm going to squish this one off to the left. I'm going to butt that up to the top. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to line it up and make sure that right hand edge lines up with the mark and it's butted up along the top. And so that means you then end up with 3 boxes all ready to go. So that's basically how it works. So for the decorations, you need on the front, on the left, because this panel is actually a different size to these 2 panels. So this one here, but when we just turn it over, so this one here is also going to be the same size as this one on the back. Okay, so for that reason you need 2 matte panels that are 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so one of those matte panels is going to go on the front there and the other one's going to go on the back here. And so the pattern that you need for the front is 2.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down on here. And then we're going to do the next one along. And I've actually done these so that the pattern carries on, but that did make things a lot more difficult. So if you want a challenge, you can do that. If not, just, you know, do any old patterns. Do whatever, you know, pattern panels you want. Obviously, if you've got a directional pattern, just make sure that you're cutting them so they're portrait. That's definitely something to consider. So this piece here that I'm sticking on here, if you want to decorate just the front only, then you need 2 matte panels that are 2 1/4 by 4 3/4, and 2 pattern panels that are 2 inches by 4.5. Okay, so that's if you only want to decorate the front. If you want to decorate the back as well as the front, you need to double that. So you'd need four mats and 4 patterns. And then on the back, you just need that piece I mentioned before. And again, I'm going to go through all these sizes. It's the same size as this one here on the front. Okay, and this is the one you're going to write on. So if you want to stamp a greeting, you're best to do it now. And I am going to do that. Right, so this piece here is going to go on the back there. So that is all I've done for this one, and then I've also done the side pieces. You also then need a whole load of pieces for the sides. If you're decorating just the front, you only need 4 because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're doing the back as well, you need an extra 2, so you need 6 in total. And these side pieces are 3/4 of an inch by 4 3/4, and the pattern are 1/2 inch by 4 1/2. So, whew, that was a lot of measurements. Let me stick these down. Okay, so that's half decoration right there. So that's the half decoration, and obviously on the back, as I said, I haven't decorated this, and I think I prefer it with it all decorated, because on the other one I did decorate it on the back, and I just think it finishes it off. So I will, after we've done the live stream, I shall be adding on more pieces onto here. But yeah, so that's that bit, and then we just add on our birthday. Oh no, I was going to put that there, but it's going to obliterate my butterfly if I do that. So that's the single 5x7 staggered triple box card. Okay, so for the double version, now I wanted it to be a 5x7, so I had to try and figure out what measurements to do, and I have to say, like I said, my first version didn't work out. So let's put this one over here out the way, and then bring in all the pieces that I've cut out and hopefully work hopefully for the double display version. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of pieces here. So for the double version, you are going to need 2 pieces, and I'm calling these A pieces because they're going to be the 2 on the outside. It's going to have AA, BB, and a C in the middle. So the 2 A pieces need to be 5 inches by 6 inches, and along the 6-inch side, you need to score at 1 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, and 5 1/2. Okay, and you need to do both of those A pieces like that. So there's your 2 A pieces done, scored exactly the same. Right, so then your B pieces, these are 5x7, and along the 7-inch edge you need to score at 1 inch, at 3 1/4, at 4 1/4, and at 6 1/2. Okay, so that is the B pieces, and then 1 C piece, and your C piece is 5 inches by 8 1/4, and you're going to score that at the long edge at 1 inch, 4 inches, 5 inches, and 8 inches. And again, if you've got 8.5-inch card, please go ahead and do 8.5 inches, so you've got a 1/2 inch tab rather than a 1/4 inch tab. So you can do that. So we're going to mountain fold all of these. So we're now going to add red tape onto all of our tabs. So now what we need to do is peel off the backing, and we're going to stick all our boxes together like we did before. Now we need to get the, well, I'm going to stick them together first and then we'll get the patterns and mats sorted. So again, I allowed for 1/2 inch on each one. So let's just move the A's out of the way. So the A's are the thinner ones, the B's are slightly wider, and the C is the widest. Okay, so I'm going to move my A's out of the way because they don't need anything drawn on them and many marks made on those. So on your both of your, well, your C, let's do the C first. So on the C, on that front panel, you need to mark in 1/2 inch from one side and 1/2 inch from the other side. So I've made a little mark there, which is 1/2 inch in, and a little mark there, which is 1/2 inch in. And then what we're going to do is put tape on again, like we did before. I've done that like that. So now what I'm going to do is just going to squidge it off to one side so it's flat. We're going to bring the good old scoreboard back in again. And what we want to do is we want to squidge this the other way because we want this edge here. And we're just going to lay this down. This is going to line up with that mark. Like that. Make sure they're both butted up against the top and stick them down. So that gives you that. So that's one side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the backing on the other side. Again, fold it flat. Take the other one, which is the other B piece, squidge that to one side, butt it up along the top, and then here we're just going to butt that along the top and line it up with that mark that's on that left hand side and stick it down. And that gives you the beginnings of your boxes stuck together. So that looks like that. So then with that laid down, we now need to do tape down here and also make a mark 1/2 inch in. So I'm just going to take my ruler and lay that on there like that. 1/2 inch in is there, and on this side 1/2 inch in is there, and then we're going to add some tape. So now we're going to bring in our A boxes. Make sure your tabs are at the back before you start as well. So now we're going to peel off this backing here. And then I'm going to push that up to the top of the board again. Take my A piece. Make sure you always squidge it the right way and you don't do it like that. Because one time when I was doing one of my samples, I did do it that way and it ended up sticking to the side. You want it to stick to the back, so just double check where you're sticking it. You definitely squidged it the right way. So that's going to go on there like that, and then we're going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to peel the backing off, okay, and then I'm going to I'm going to squidge this off the other way again so it sticks to the back, it doesn't stick to the front, and then just going to butt it up against the top of the scoreboard and stick it down. So then that should give you your double display card, and hopefully this is the moment of truth. When you lay it down flat, you should find you can fold them both down like that, so they all fold in like that. Obviously your back piece can go left or right, doesn't matter. And then this should measure 7 inches. Yes, it does. Hooray. 7 inches by 5 inches. Oh my goodness. I'm so pleased that that worked. So yeah, so that is that. So then we need to decorate. Oh my goodness. Are you ready, people? Are you ready for this? Right, I'm going to do the sides first because they're easy. You need 10 pieces. The mat layers are 3/4 by 4 3/4, and the pattern is 1/2 inch by 4.5. So you need 10 of those. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to stick all of those down. Right, so you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mats that are 1.5 inches by 4 3/4. Okay, so six mats that are 1.5 by 4 3/4, and they're going to go here and here, here and here, and also here and here. Okay, so that's where your 6 mats are going, that are that size. Yeah, so that's those. You also need one for the middle that is 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I believe that's the only one of that size. It is. And then for the back, you need a mat for this center section that is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4, and you need 2 mats for this bit here, which is 1 inch by 4 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down now. The patterns, that's the front. The patterns, so these are my pattern pieces. I've tried to make it so the pattern carries on. That's the back of the card. Turn it over, that's the front of the card. Just needs a greeting on it. And I might put some butterflies or might put something else on it. And then that's obviously from the top side, top view of it. And it all folds down to fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card. Why is that wonky? That looks wonky. Oh well, it's stuck now. So, and so it folds down like a toolbox, like that, and it will fit in an envelope for a 5x7. So there you go. So that's the cards for today. So that's that one. If I lie them down, they're not going to work properly. That's that one with the rounded edges, and that's the other one. So there you go. So there's your 3 different versions. So I'll put the measurements in for the 5x7, the double 5x7, and then this one here was supposed to be 6x6, but it's actually turned out to be 5x6. So yeah, so have a go. As I mentioned at the beginning, check out Antonio Makes VIP package. If you've got a inkjet printer, then yeah, you might struggle. But if you've got a laser printer or you've got access to a laser printer, then definitely check out his digital kits, because they're really nice, basically.